You are listening to Dr. Troy Munson with Words of Radiance. Now here is your host, Dr. Munson.
Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Troy Munson. I'm just going to start with a punchline today. God is not trying to teach you a lesson. Now, as lessons go, we think of teaching a child a lesson like, or somebody that's kind of snotty or rude or whatever. I'm going to teach them a lesson. That is not what God does to us. Now, I've heard many pastors speak on this, and they tend to mostly agree. But every once in a while you get a pastor that God's going to teach you a lesson if you don't shape up. I'll tell you what, if you're doing things out there and you're like, man, bad things keep happening to me. All this crap keeps happening to me. Why do bad things happen? God is not teaching anybody a lesson, by the way. That is crap happening that you're dragging into your life. So let me give you the example. If I am at peace and my mind is still, and every once in a while it thinks about happy things, but most of the time when I'm at peace, it is incredibly happy inside my head. I don't have a lot of thoughts going on, and I'm genuinely very happy all the time. That happiness, that energy signature that's all around me, brings into me happy situations. Always. That's the way it works. It is a garbage in, garbage out kind of scenario. And if you've got garbage in your head, you are asking for garbage to come to you. So let's say we take another person that's thinking negative thoughts. Let's say they like scary movies and they're always thinking about bad things happening. They get jazzed off of watching bad things happen to people in movies. And you wonder why it's called programming. What's your tonight's programming going to include? Hey, tonight's programming is going to include bad things happening to people. And so here we have this individual that's watching these shows and rude people being rude to each other. And they wonder why that everywhere they go, these weird, unhappy events are happening to them. And in their mind, they're railing against what is happening to them. They're continually thinking negativity about what's happening to them and pushing blame and shame and guilt off onto other people and pointing fingers and condemning other people and judging other people and wondering why people are judging them and condemning them and while nothing good is happening to them. If you get my drift, you cannot get corn from a mustard seed. If you plant a mustard seed, you are going to get a mustard plant. If you plant a corn seed, you are going to get a corn plant. Whatever you sow, you shall reap. It is a spiritual truth. It is a biblical truth. It is truth in so many different religions. As you sow, so shall you reap, which is along the lines of karma. I know a lot of people don't like the word karma, but it is sow as you reap. That's what it means. But here's the cool thing. The moment that you stop planting seeds of doubt in your own mind, seeds of hatred in your own mind, seeds of guilt in your own mind, seeds of condemnation in your own mind, seeds of hatred, seeds of greed, seeds of pride, the moment that you stop doing that and you start planting seeds of joy, seeds of happiness, seeds of peace, seeds of good fortune, seeds of encouragement, seeds of love, guess what you start getting? You get those things. So in my life, I was miserable up until the age of 30. I'll just tell you, I can't even imagine how I stood to live with myself. But as I started realizing this through and through, at age 30, I started doing it differently, and it took time. My goodness, I was slow at it. I didn't know I could have done it faster. After 3 years of pretty diligent work, I was literally finally, for the first time in my life, genuinely happy. I was like, wow, did that take a while? And I watched all these different things start happening around me. I stopped pulling these unhappy experiences into my life. All of a sudden, there was grace about me. there was ease. Now, I still had my own troubles. I still had some pathways that were quite well worn in my head, and it took time to undo them. But eventually, I realized that it was all me. I even remember saying, God's punishing me. Now I realize it was only me punishing me. God shall not be mocked. And I've done a podcast on this. God's power he gives to each of us. You can either believe that or not. Either way, I don't mind. That's your deal. But God gave us his full power. And he will not be mocked, meaning he is powerful. He did not create us with a spirit of fear or spirit of weakness, but a spirit of power. And everything we think will have its way. So be rest assured, God shall not be mocked. If you want negative things within your environment, then by golly, you keep thinking negative things, you're planting those seeds, you're going to have a nice crop of crap. But if you also test them in the other way and say, I am only going to put good things into my head. I'm only going to think of whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is lovely, whatever is pure. If you're going to think about those things, guess what your crop's going to be? It's going to be amazing. Now, somebody might test this for a few days and say, I tried that positive thinking crap. Well, it ain't about positive thinking. It's about monitoring every thought, because there's thoughts underneath the thoughts that you're aware of that you want to get to, because those may have been trained, and those are subconscious, and those are amongst the most power, because those have emotion behind them. So all I have to do is follow you around for a week or two and watch. When do you blow up? When do you explode? When do you get grumbly? When do you get condemny? If that's even a word. When do you get kind of snippy, snotty, irritable? All those things. When you get down on yourself, when you start judging yourself and saying, when you start doing that kind of stuff, that tells me there's programming underneath all that. And so if you already do that a lot, know that you've got some tremendous programming in your head that you've got to dig up. You got to till up that soil so you can plant fresh seeds of good things. So it ain't positive thinking. That doesn't work unless you are so diligent that you are going to monitor every thought and begin to change it. You can, but it's easier to go after and watch the things that happen to you. Watch what your grumbling is. Watch when you get moody. Watch when you think that life's against you. Those are the times that you're going to do the most good, because you're going to take a hold of that thought the moment it happens. And if you're watchful enough, you're going to immediately let it go and put something better in its place. Now that's work, because like I've talked about, the two-step approach that I teach constantly, whatever you're getting in life, you ask the question, is this what you want? If it is, fabulous, keep doing it. If it isn't, speak it out. This is not what I want. And then the most important follow-up question is, if that's not what you want, what do you want? And be very, very clear. So it's very simple, but it's going to take some work in the beginning. You're going to be hammering that just all the time. You're going to be like, I'm saying this constantly. That's the way we want it to be. You have acquiesced your brain and just let it run on autopilot. It's time to inhabit your home and live in it and live in your castle and watch what's going on in the kingdom of your head. And so this is the nugget that, if you've listened to it this long, here's the nugget. In the Bible, it says God is the King of Kings. Now, you may have sung songs about it. You may have even said it. You may have even sung the song, but you didn't get it. He's not the king of slaves. He is the King of kings. And if he created you and you're hearing this, you are a king. King is not a man or a woman. A king is one who understands his realm and rules his realm like he wants. He doesn't abdicate his throne or her throne. He watches everything that happens in his kingdom, and he's on everything like a hawk that shouldn't be there. He knows what he wants his kingdom to be like, and he rules in that manner. God is the King of kings. You have a kingdom, you must rule. Nobody else can do it for you. If you have a crappy life, you've already abdicated it. You've already been not ruling your kingdom. You want to keep not ruling it, or do you want to go through the work and the effort to have a kingdom like you know that it could and should be? That's the question. Are you willing to rule your kingdom? God isn't here to teach you a lesson. He's already given you everything. It's you that are punishing yourself. You aren't punished for your sins. You are punished by them because you're the one that did it. He doesn't punish people. He knows how he created you. You've never changed in his mind. You never could change. He doesn't create changeable things. He creates changeless things. So if you still have an issue with that and you still have some trouble wrapping your mind around that, please text me, email me. Let's have a conversation. Let's dig into your head and eliminate the lies that have been placed there and start replacing it with truth so that you can have an amazing life and start teaching others to walk that direction too, because we need more people walking in the light than they need to be walking in the darkness. Until next time, I'm Dr. Troy Munson on Words of Radiance.